I fell into that trap for a long time as well, thinking that black women were just the worst of the worst. When I looked back at my life, I realized I've never dated a woman like that, where they're quote unquote ratchet, loud, and aren't a feminine woman, bro. I've never met that, and I've only dated black women, bro.
I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack.
Man cooks room full of strong black women. Video by Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen this guy before on the internet, and from what I've seen, he doesn't really, well, he fits that demographic of black men who just keep going after black women without giving that same energy to white women or any other demographic. Okay, so yeah, obviously I may not be American, but a lot of the talking points that black men like to bring up in America are the exact same points you'll see inside of the UK. So just wanted to go into this video with an open mind, see what the hell he has to say. So let's go, man.
The gentleman that we're about to review was on stage and was asked questions in regards to the dynamic of the black man and the black woman, and absolutely popped off in a room filled with black women. We gotta get after this one without further ado.
Protect, provide, back up my wife.
Okay.
If I had sons, my wife would fall back because it is my job, like it was my father's job and his father's job before him, to raise his son into a man. We have taught our children, we have taught society, and we put a battery in our women's back by telling them that masculinity is toxic, that submission is wrong. I gotta submit to God, I gotta submit to the IRS. You submit to your white ass boss every single day, but yet and still you won't submit to your husbands. But then you get on these podcasts, you get on these television shows, you watch these reality shows that are scripted, and you sit up there and you say, I want a man who's a provider. No, no, no. Your husband is supposed to be a provider. We out of whack. Iyanla Vanzant told y'all was out of order and nobody wanted to hear it.
So maybe
Right, okay. That's a lot that you just put forward. Okay, when he brought up the point about obviously his son, right? Raising up a son. So are you trying to say that a man has no involvement in a daughter's life at all, and a woman has no involvement in the group, the bringing up of a black boy at all? That doesn't make any sense, bro. It takes two parents to be able to bring up a child properly, and even then, it sometimes doesn't go correctly, right? It's not a guarantee that having two parents increase the likelihood that the child doesn't become a criminal, become, you know what I'm saying, a degenerate to society, right? So the argument makes no sense. It takes two parents to raise a man. It takes two, right? Not just a man to raise up another man. Okay, what else did he say? Because he threw up a lot. Oh yeah, when he was talking about submitting to God and submitting to the IRS, etc., etc., but then he's saying, oh, but you submit to your white boss every single day. I don't even know what the fuck that's meant to mean. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea what that's meant to mean, because it doesn't matter if they're white, Asian, black. If it's your boss, regardless, you're gonna have to suck up some type of anything just to be able to keep your job. And that's one thing why I hate jobs so much, because me personally, bro, working a 9 to 5 is peak, bro, and that's what everybody has to do. So why is he just picking it out and making it seem like only black women do this to white bosses? It's a stupid point. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anyway, let's continue.
I feel like with the submission thing, I feel like, because that's like a hot topic on the podcast world with submission, but we keep telling black women to submit to men that don't have their life together. How can you submit? How can you submit to a man who doesn't submit to God? Everybody's not like you.
I understand that.
You are like in the rare percentage.
I get that.
You must know that there are a lot of black men who don't move like you, who are not successful, who don't want to go to school, who don't want to do anything with their life, who don't have any finances, who don't have any ambition, who have nothing to offer but some dick.
Okay. She's right, obviously.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy.
But it's not just black men she's talking about. She's talking about all men too. A lot of men, all they have is some good dick. Not gonna lie. Hey, bro. Every man must go through this phase of being a broke nigga, just trying to slay some dick, bro. Lay some dick down, bro. Come on now. Alright. In terms of ambition, I don't think there's any man in this planet that doesn't have ambition. It's just they don't have direction. That's one thing I can definitely say. And that's what a lot of people have. A lot of people don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just doing what everybody else says for them to do. Right? Now, when I do say they don't have no direction, because remember, how people even get into that point where they don't know where they're going, they don't know what to do, right? It's because of the people around them. If the people around them aren't going very far places, and these people that are in the positions where they can't really move forwards, right? They don't see any other option because all they see around them is X, Y, and Z. I don't need to tell you, right? If they only see that, then that's the only thing they think there is, right? Cool. So, can't you also make the argument that they're a product of their environment? Just the point. Just wanted to make that out there, right? Because I've never met a man who has no ambition. Not a single man, black, white, Asian, don't matter. Never met a man who hasn't got any ambition before. Right? It's just their ambition is in different places. You know what I'm saying? The way they're directing their focus is in different places because they don't think they have any other option. Right? That's one thing I'll say. And that goes for every single community of people, not just black men. Because there's plenty of white people in the UK. I'm going to talk about the UK. White people in the UK, majority of the population are white. And there are tons of people who live outside of London who are white, majority white, and they have no job opportunities. They have no opportunities at all. Right? It's not just a one size fits all, or because you're black, you have no ambition, there's tons of niggas like you. Nah, bro, it applies to everybody. Everybody. If you have no opportunities around you, you have no prospects, you don't have people around you who are already successful to look towards, then you're kind of cooked, right? You're kind of cooked. That's one thing I'll say. But I will never say don't work hard. But if you never have the opportunity to work hard, then well, that's unfair.
Okay.
So how can we keep telling?
So I'll never blame people for ever turning to those avenues. If you turn to those avenues, I'd rather you didn't, but I'd understand why you did it in the first place.
And let's talk about it,
Clap it
because
up.
let's talk about it. Black women are in record numbers going to college. We're opening degrees.
Here we
We're
go.
getting accolades. We're running nonprofit. We're running nonprofits. There's a
like that
large
matters to a
portion
man.
of
And when he says that, like, it doesn't matter to him, man. Right? In my opinion, from what I've seen, if majority of people understands that running a family on a singular salary, which is what majority of people have to go through in this world, on one salary, people on one salary realize, oh wait, I can't make it work on one salary. Wouldn't it benefit men to have a smart wife, right? Bringing in some level of paper to like that has a similar level to you. Doesn't it make more sense to have that in this current economy that we live in, where you cannot make it work unless you have two people making a good, you know what I'm saying? That's the reality for literally majority of the population. So when this guy says that, don't listen to this guy, bro. If your woman's getting money too, bro. If you ain't getting money, let's say you go sick for like I don't know, you go terminally sick for 2 months. I know this is an exception, but just work with me. You go sick. Who's looking after the kids? Oh, because if you had your wife believe what this guy was saying, where, oh, men don't care that you've got a degree. Men don't care that you make a lot of money. Men don't care that you've got accolades or whatever. Right? If you believe that shit, then you go find a man who's doing all this for you, and then things don't work out, or let's say he goes sick. Now who's looking after the kids? It's stupid. It's a stupid rhetoric, bro. And I used to believe this as well. I'm not gonna act like I did. But for the majority of people, that is not the reality. 100% no. It's not the reality, man. Majority of people can't make it work on one salary. You just can't, man. Just saying.
Black women who are educating themselves and taking their lives to the next level, while the black men are not reaching those goals. They're not meeting us on those levels.
This man is about to cook, and I want to let his message rock. So here's my couple of quick thoughts. There is nobody telling you to submit to losers, so stop it. You're strawmanning arguments. You're making things up. And let me be clear, by losers, I'm saying those with nothing else to offer of value besides eggplant. What's interesting?
True, right? That's very true. I can agree with that. If you're gonna go for a man who's only just giving you dick, doesn't give you direction, doesn't give you a future life that you both plan together, right? Then fair. But hey, just make sure you're good, and then guess what? You don't. Even if you just go for a man who just gives you good dick, you're good regardless. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's not as if these men don't have some type of ambition. It's just their ambitions in different places. Just say it, bro.
Though, is that 50% of black men over the age of 18 are walking around childless, with many of those men, good men.
Wait, sorry, what did he say?
The age of 18 are walking around child. To be clear, by losers, I'm saying those with nothing else to offer of value besides eggplant. What's interesting, though, is that 50% of black men over the age of 18 are walking around childless, with many of those men, good men, high character, high integrity men, are ignored because they don't meet a financial requirement that you've made in your head based off of some reality TV show.
And once again, that this point is the dumbest shit, bro. Dumbest shit. I used to think women would only date people or date men who are making 6 figures a year only. I used to believe that shit, right? But then whenever I looked in my reality, I realized, wait, that's never been the case. And when I look at the niggas around me, that's never been the case. Where you need to be making 6 figures a year, have a car, have a whole house, or whatever. High class lifestyle. But if you wanted to get a beautiful woman, you can get a beautiful woman at any stage of your life, bro. It's all about who you are. It's all about who you are, how you move as a man, the charisma you have, how you know how to treat a woman. Do you know how to treat a woman properly? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know how to treat a woman properly, you don't know how to treat people properly, you don't have good social skills, you don't know how to make people feel good when they're around you. You don't have good poise. Well, of course, you're gonna be thinking, "Oh yeah, I need to get this, I need to get that, you need to get that." But when men get to these points in their life, girls are leaving. Anyway, so it's like, it's not the be all end all, bro. The be all end all is, can you get good dick? I'm joking, but that is definitely part of it. And do you know how to treat a woman? Make her feel special, make her feel like a natural woman, make her feel feminine. You know what I'm saying? It's not about how much money you got on your bank account. Don't listen to that lie. Don't listen to that fucking lie. Women date the people that they like. They don't date people just because of bank accounts. And I'm not gonna act like there aren't women who do that, but let's not act like there's not men that do that too. Yeah. Come on now. Let's not forget that shit.
While the ones not worthy of submission are getting y'all boxes and creating babies with you. Second point, stop utilizing your pursuit of education as a way to disqualify a man. Humble yourself, for your degrees don't make you more qualified for the obligation of being a wife. Third point, he said submit to your husband. not an eggplant third leg general. But before that, you must understand what submission is and fully indoctrinate it, because even during the dating and the courting phase, we can tell who is really about that life. Your selective submission is not femininity. It is opportunistic. You can complain about the men all day, and I'm not the one here to say that it's perfect on the male side of the coin, but you must be accountable enough and humble yourself to look in the mirror and see, how can my product on the dating marketplace be improved? Let's let them cook.
Black women.
It's a weird rhetoric still. How can that woman improve? When he says, you know, a woman's degree doesn't mean you're worth being a wife. If that's what you believe, fair enough. And to be fair, it doesn't. But submission is not the key. I'll be real. Like, just because a woman submits to you, right? Her whole mind, her whole body, her whole decision making. I don't want a woman like that. What the fuck? I'll be real. I don't want that shit. I came in to get a woman, a wife. I didn't come in to get a bitch. Cause that's who you describing. That's exactly who this nigga is describing. A bitch. I want a woman, bro. A woman, look, hold you down, bro. A good woman holds you down, holds you accountable. Yeah, you step out of line, she's there. Cause she's real with you, bro. I don't want a bitch, bro. I want a woman, bro. You know what I'm saying? When he says submit, I'm like, ill. Ill, bro. Ill, bro.
Women are the largest group of entrepreneurs. They also have more degrees. There are more black women in the C-suite. And to quote Dr. Umar Johnson, you don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
It's a lot of
very
student loan
suspicious.
debt.
You don't find that suspicious?
Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Black women also have the majority and the highest rate of student loan debt, which means your debt to income ratio is shot. Problem number one.
Right.
Problem number two is you spend.
First of all, is that true? Black borrowers, yeah, black borrowers, so both men and women, overall tend to have higher average student loan debt than their white, Hispanic, and Asian peers. Why do you think that is? Oh yeah, because usually white people in America had a fucking head start. They have money coming in from their parents. They have parents to take off some of that burden of student loan debt. Right? So they obviously get a head start. When it comes to Hispanics, Asians, that was a little bit more interesting. Obviously, Asian peers, they're a better community. Asian people are definitely closer community ties. They help out their family. This is a social economic problem. Black people don't hold up other black people. They don't help out each other. And plus, they also have had historically harder challenges in building wealth over their other more lighter counterparts. Right? So this is a stupid argument, right? We already know the black woman is the most stereotyped, the most demonized, and obviously remember, women always had a lower head start than men when it comes to this economy. When it comes to the world that we live in, women have had lower rights for a very long time. Let's not forget this shit, yeah? And then who also had worse off rights than everybody else? Black people. So you put two and two together, yeah, they're gonna have a pretty bad fucking head start, my friend. Okay? Stupid argument.
All that time getting these things on you and not getting any learning in you. Having more degrees than a thermometer does not mean that you understand the temperature of our people.
What the fuck does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
On top of that, I don't need a degree to tell you I'm a man. Most of my degrees are sitting in the drawer, and the rest of them are at my mama's house in Arizona. I ain't seen them. It don't matter.
What degrees did you get though? What degrees did you ever receive? Maybe the degrees that you chose, you probably chose useless degrees. Did you choose useless degrees? Did he ever say that? I would love to know. What degrees did you choose? Right? And look, I'm not even trying to attack this guy. But when you understand that majority of people who do go to university, they are struggling to get university graduate jobs. Most people do not want to become a billionaire and be in your position that this guy's talking about. They don't want to become business people, business owners. They don't want to do that. Majority of people don't want to. Right? Okay then. So yes, people would end up pursuing their fucking degrees. And as we all know, just because you get a degree does not mean you're going to get a higher paying job. It does increase your chances of getting a higher paying job, but it's not a guarantee, right? Because once again, there's more than one reason, bro. Everybody's struggling to get jobs, not just black people.
The thing I learned in college was about happening outside of the classroom.
But you went to college, though.
Hold on.
You went to college, though.
I went to college to
Okay.
please my mother. I had a record deal. I was singing backgrounds for Teddy Pendergrass. Let's tell the whole story, not just the parts you like.
Why is college the qualifier?
And
But you
most
still
of
went
us,
to college.
So why are you attacking people for doing the exact same thing that you did? And then they find out, oh wait, that was a problem. It's like, yeah, like he's acting like black women weren't in the exact same predicament that he was just in, with the same knowledge that he was in. You were in the same environment, bro. You were trying to please your parents. That's why you went to the university. That's why you went to college. Because you wanted to please your parents, first of all. Second of all, because everybody told you to do it. It was only after you did it when you realized, oh wait, we didn't fucking need it. Majority of people are just in that position that you're in, bro. So what it's so dumb.
again, most of us, black men specifically, go to college out of pressure from their mamas and their grandmamas, not because it's something to do to better themselves. The school industrial complex is made for black.
So why do you think that only applies to black men but not everybody else? Why are you singling out communities when you know everybody has this same stigmatization? It's probably even worse in Asian communities. Right? Bro, the stereotype. Every Indian parent wants you to become a doctor, bro. Every Nigerian parent wants you to become a lawyer or an accountant. Why is he acting like this doesn't apply to every single community, not just black men?
Women. There have been several studies on this that talk about how young black boys are automatically labeled as behavior problems. They were labeled as educable mentally retarded back when Les Brown was in school, and that's going all the way back to the 50s. Then you sit up there and you put them in the programs, then you double down on their reading scores so that you know how many prisons to build. Everything is set up to make sure you rise and think that you are now above us, as opposed to realizing that there's a conspiracy to separate you from me.
So how do we fix it is what I'm trying to get at.
I had to, first of all, you sat up there and gave me a 30-minute dissertation on how great black women were doing, but the second I
support my black women,
brother.
that's all.
I support black women.
I support black men
Here's
too,
the
though.
thing.
Look,
You support black women, but you haven't tried to support black women just now. What? You're supporting black men. What you said was, oh yeah, we don't care about your degrees. Men don't care about your degrees. So which one is it, buddy? It's not making sense. Your actions are not lining up with your words, mate. It's not making sense. It's just not making sense.
The majority of my clients, the majority of my executive staff, my man Ricardo Cordial, who's been a client of mine for 5 years, he will tell you the majority of the people in my executive team are black women.
Okay.
I have put more black women in the 1% than Nick Cannon with a bag of Viagra.
So you hired more black women. So who is he coming after? I'm confused. He is all over the place right now. Right? First he says, oh, black women get more degrees, more debt. but then they're getting higher paying jobs. So you're pretty much just saying what they did was the right choice. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense.
So
What?
this is not about supporting black women.
He's good.
Okay.
There's a woman named Anissa Getna who had a nursing business and she had a credit business, and she went and bought her husband. By the time I was done with her, she went and bought her husband a car dealership, then moved to South Africa. She got an AT&T grant. So when
Okay.
it comes to supporting black women, I don't talk about it, I be about it.
Okay,
So that's
cool.
not the
I hear
issue.
that.
The issue is we need to fix it by divorcing ourselves from their agenda, which is educate our women, make them feel so high up because they got the C-suite positions, they got the degrees, they got the jobs that they put them in, while they disqualify us, underqualify us, tell us we can't do anything, take all of the skilled labor out, and then when they don't take the skilled labor out, they sit there and then make it look like there's something wrong with that. Even look at the movies. There's been Tyler Perry movies where the dude is a mechanic. The least watched Tyler Perry movie is what? Daddy's Little Girls, because God forbid you see a responsible single father and a baby mama who decided that a drug dealer, a YN, is better than a dude that works hard every day, because that's not sexy enough to brag for your friends. You have to understand that this is a psychological op that is played on so many levels that nobody wants to talk about it. So the solution is we go independent, we reject our trash, we stop taking in every piece of bad bitch bullshit that we get. We start looking at the fact that we don't have one black-owned record company, but we got all these black record labels run by palm-colored people with little hats on the back of their heads telling us how we should operate, and then they sit down with Charlamagne and say, oh, well, I just gotta eat. Leor Cohen, you've eaten, bro. You created a 360 deal.
Quick emergency.
Jesus. When it comes to black women dating, let's say a YN, for example, yeah? Who are these YNs dating? What are the type of women that they're dating? You ever notice that? Are they not also a part of the same issue? Poverty. A YN is more likely to date a woman who is also a part of that type of community. So the issue is both sides. Men, black women, the black community, or parts of it, they prop up the bad sides. But that's also the sides that get pushed in the narrative and the media, which is the part of the levels that he's talking about. Which I can agree. I can 100% agree with that shit. They throw it in your face all the time, so you think it's actually more of a problem than it is. What you see is all there is. If all you see is black men getting charged for murder on TV and roadmen and etc., then you're gonna think it's only a black thing, when realistically it's a poverty thing, right? I will say this time and time again: poverty is the reason why you see crime. And who's usually the poorest community? Black people. Why is that though? Systemic racism, there's tons of reasons, mate. Systemic racism. And when I say systemic racism, making it much harder for black people to get jobs, making it much harder for black people to actually open up their own businesses, get loans, etc. The list goes on. And also, the fact that Equality Acts had to be put in place in the UK as well, is because it was so bad. It was that bad to where they had to make it to where, because black people weren't getting hired, so they had to be like, okay, well, since black people aren't getting hired, shit, we gotta make it to where they actually are allowed to get hired now. Right? There's tons of reasons, bro. And when that happens for generations, like the people that prop up median average salaries or average salaries for a certain community, so white people, right? Let's say let's direct our attention to white people, yeah? The older you get, the more money you earn, right? Cool. So if we understand that during the time when white people, or during the time where life was so great in the UK. Oh yeah, you could go on your house, you can go on a car and have the beautiful wife, having 2 kids on 1 salary, right? That was for the generation of white people during that time. 1950s, 1960s, that era of time. But during that same time, black people were struggling in this country with racism, with unemployment rates, criminal rates because they were poor. List goes on, right? And if that happens for a whole generation, so the black people during that generation of time, majority were not able to build up the exact same amount of wealth as white people were able to build up because of the reasons I described, right? Cool. So then when you come back to today now and you realize those people are still alive, right? They're still alive today. Yeah. The people that were still alive, that were able to build up their wealth during that time, are still alive today. So when you see the median average, you see even just the normal average, yeah, the average of the average white person versus the average black person, you see the black person's one's way lower than the white person's one. You gotta remember, the ones that are propping up that average are the people from 1950s, 1960s, etc. Don't forget that shit.
Meeting, I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened, and found out
What is he talking
that
about
there's
now?
companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers, scammers.
Okay, yeah,
and
I don't give a fuck.
Well, it's at least your info in the description. If your person,
You think a record
Like this shit is so disgusting to me. Profiteering off of black hate. It's insane. That's exactly what you're doing. It's fucked up.
has been exposed. Go now.
y'all don't want to do payday loans, but what the hell you think a record deal is?
Talk to me about the 360 deal now.
All right, we know what 360 deals are. I wanted to fact check the brother on a couple of things that he said. One of the things he said is that black women as a group are the fastest group of growing entrepreneurs. And according to JP Morgan Chase back in 2021, that is correct. But what he didn't say is that although that they are the fastest growing group, black male entrepreneurs are still more successful when it comes to a revenue perspective, earning, quote, significantly more. This is not a competition. I just think that with one point, you should also have an understanding of the other to have a more complete picture or more of the context. And he also threw in the idea that black women are more enrolled, therefore there is higher student loan debt. Black women graduate with the highest average student loan debt than any demographic group. At the undergraduate level, their average debt is $37,000 and black men's is $35,000.
$2,000 more.
I think this difference is negligible, but it increases when you get into graduate school. The gap is even wider for those with graduate degrees. For the class of 2016, black women had an average of $58,000 in graduate level debt, while black men had $49,000. A 2024 analysis found that after 12 years, the average woman's student loan debt increased by 13% due to interest, whereas the man's increased.
2024 analysis found that after 12 years, the average black woman's student loan debt has increased by 30% due to interest, whereas the average black man's debt has only grown by 11%, a 2% difference. And once again, lower sample size, etc.
By only 11%. Fact check complete. Let's get back into the content.
So,
The 360 deal.
All right, so a 360 deal means
So pretty much there was no difference.
that instead of you just signing a record deal and they get their money from the record sales, they get money from your email list, your website, your touring, your merchandise, your name, image, and likeness. They own you and they give you a big old advance. And when you don't possibly clear that advance, they turn around and give you another one. Look at Drake.
Right.
I thought you were referencing the 360 deal into the black community. I'm sorry. I knew what the 360 deal was. I guess what I'm trying to get from you, and I really appreciate your wisdom coming on the show. I really just want to find like the common ground, because I understand what you're saying. Where
Right.
black women go to school and they get degrees and they feel
Yeah.
like they're higher up. But how do we, level
It's
it
not
out?
you versus me. It's you and me.
Right.
Right? So here's the thing. When we were allowed to go to school before our women were, we came back and we taught our women. We have to start realizing that we need to raise our entire community, not just our children. So if you're coming with information, instead of standing on the corner with your girls talking about, clock it, I got this many degrees, clock it.
Yo, the finger.
Why don't you start clocking the ability to start elevating all of us? We need think tanks that don't involve white money, non-black money, and I'm not saying we can't have allies, but we need to start circling our wagons amongst each other. We need to start circling our dollars amongst each other.
100%. 100%. 100%.
The Jews do it, the Italians do it, the Chinese do it. When black people do it, they look at you like you crazy. There is no reason that FUBU should not still be hot today. Y'all rocking Ralph Lauren. There is no reason why Motown should have been sold to anybody but black hands. There's no reason why BET should have been sold to anybody but black hands. And y'all crying about the BET Hip Hop Awards. Hello, Boo Boo Cakes. BET ain't been owned by black people in 27 years.
Hallelujah, amen.
So if you want a solution is ignore the rhetoric, ignore the propaganda, and realize that I am not your competition. I am your completion. I am the one that's supposed to protect you, but the Bible says it is better for a man to live in the roof of his house than be in a house with a quarrelsome woman. Calm all that down. All that sprinkle shit, calm that down. And by the way, when it comes, and this is just me making sure that I'm giving you a solution, if you are so talented, so gifted, so degreed, so smart, how you let dumb niggas nut up in you and make babies?
Now that's a different one. Because when he refers to the people that are smart, are they getting nutted up? Is there a stat that proves that people with degrees have a higher chance of, you know what I'm saying? That's a stupid point. But yeah, 100%. Black people definitely need to bring up their own communities more. I think there's definitely been a divide in what our community focuses on as a whole. I feel like it's getting significantly better nowadays. 100%. 100,000%. But that's only because black people finally getting back to getting money, you know? And as that happens, as black people keep giving back to black people and helping out the black community, things will get better, man. 100%. But yeah, that point about how you're so smart, so talented, how you letting a dumb nigga nut up inside you. There's no stat to prove that's ever been true. No stat. I mean, this is an interesting video. I can't lie. Obviously, the brother over here is clearly very educated, and he's obviously very, very, very successful, man. Clearly, you can tell by his demeanor. You know, I'm confused because he's turning around and he's saying he doesn't want his women to be unsubmissive, but he also wants them to stop getting degrees. It's a confusing one. It's very confusing. I'm confused what his argument is. Like, what do you want from your black women? To be teaching or getting degrees or not? Like, that's a confusing one. Me personally, I think black people as a whole, we need to be way more community based. You know, way more community based. Instead of just staying in our families, we should be as strong as the way the Chinese are, as strong as the way the white people are. You know, solidarity and unity. Solidarity in numbers, mate. We need more of that. Instead of having black people just tearing down black people, we can't have this keep going on. It just can't happen, bro. It's not good for us, bro. You know, we already have too many factors, too many other outside factors, outside enemies trying to do that to the black community already. The last thing we need is more black people doing that to us as well. We're like, what the fuck, bro? You know what I'm saying? And I fell into that trap for a long time as well, thinking that black women were just the worst of the worst. When I looked back at my life, I realized I've never dated a woman like that, where they're quote unquote ratchet, loud, and aren't a feminine woman, bro. I've never met that. And I've only dated black women, bro. But then I ended up believing that only black women were capable of something like that, when realistically, it's capable of any woman. If you treat her the wrong way, yeah, 100%. And it's capable of any type of woman. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. They could be loud, disruptive, rude, uneducated. That could be any woman, man. So the only reason why it seems like it's only in the black community is because, once again, white supremacy, white propaganda, pushing the ideal, pushing the, a narrative that only black people are capable of this, when realistically it's just not. Because you see all the time, white people are loud, they don't get frowned upon. You don't see white people start turning around and be like, oh yeah, all white women are like this. You don't see that shit. It's only black people doing it to other black people, and that's stupid. We need to stop that shit. Okay? One thing I will definitely say, if you're a young man watching this video, younger than me at least, because I'm quite young. You know what I'm saying? I'm 22. Can't call me unk yet, bro. Still out here, bro. Slaying dick and taking names. Yeah, don't listen to what other people say. Go from your own experience. The type of women that you actually end up going for, notice when or where you're seeing these women. Are you seeing them in real life, or you only see them on the internet? Yeah, make that distinction, because the internet will always push a certain agenda to you, right, that you already believe because you think it's true. But go fact check shit and actually go out and date some women, bro. Because honestly, I've never dated a woman who's loud, rude. I've never dated a woman like that. And they've only been black women. Yeah, I've never dated a woman who's not been kind, you know, because you give kindness, you get kindness back. You give rudeness, you're gonna get rudeness back. Facts. Okay. Don't be afraid to date any type of race. Don't be afraid. If you rock with the girl, you rock with the girl, bro. If you don't rock with the girl, move on, cuz. It's simple as that, bro. Don't start just demonizing all of them. You know what I'm saying? It makes no fucking sense. It's dumb. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this video in the comments down below. Do you think some of the points I made were a bit unfair, rude? Do you think I'm chatting was? Think I'm talking facts? Because I probably am. And yeah. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to make sure that everybody does know about. Obviously, to my Jamaican brethren out there, as you probably know, or you probably heard about, Hurricane Melissa has obviously hit Jamaica. It's passed now. It's obviously hitting Cuba now, and it's left Jamaica in a very bad spot right now. Obviously I'm half Jamaican, half Asian, and hearing about that shit hurt, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, anybody who wants to be able to help out in any way, I will be putting a link inside of the description. It'll probably be it'll be in the description to give towards a Jamaican charity. So yeah, feel free to look into it. And yeah, just wanted to raise awareness for my brethren out there. Because yeah, that shit sucks, man. Because I already know, I've already said it. The economy of Jamaica will tank for a long time. I don't even know how we're gonna recover from this properly, because it's a lot that's happened, man. But yeah, just wanted to raise some awareness on that. So as much as I don't have a humongous platform, I could still do something, and that's all I want to do. But yeah, till next time, love.